Assalamu alaikum. My name is Dr. Afnan, and today we'll be talking about the cue cards. Since we talk about the part 1 where we introduce ourselves with the examiner, now comes the part where we talk about the cue cards, and this is the one of the most trickiest. So you need to get well prepared about it. And today I'll be teaching you about how to master this cue card. So for the part 2 section, you are given 3 minutes. In the first minute, you are given a cue card where there is a set of a question associated with 3 to 4 sub questions. So you're supposed to read them carefully and plot few ideas, few pointers that you're going to speak about for the next 2 minutes. And the examiner would stop you in the end. What are the common mistakes that students commit when they are out there during the examination? First of all, they do not read the question carefully and the sub questions, and they are not able to prepare the few pointers that are required to speak for the next 2 minutes. Secondly, they abruptly start speaking about the questions and the sub questions, and they end up before 1 minute, and they do not complete the whole 2 minutes that's required, and that carries negative marking as well. Thirdly, they are not able to show their skills, vocabulary, phrases, whatever they are equipped with because of the exam stress and pressure. Fourth, they might think the examiner is not laughing in front of them, he's not making a smiling face, he might be getting intimidated by the student, and that is not the case. It's up to the examiner. He might be friendly, he might be a bit in a serious mood, but that does not affect your grade. Okay, so what are the things to consider while you're out there performing in front of the examiner? First of all, remember, try to be calm and composed while you're answering. Look at the eye of the examiner mostly, trying to show him that you're confident enough. Try to be natural, don't try too hard. Try to place idioms, phrases, vocabularies, and joining words wherever possible. Don't try to enforce it too hard because you might commit some mistakes and that carries negative marking as well. Read the question clearly when you're given 1 minute and the sub questions as well, and try to answer them all. Lastly, speak for complete 2 minutes and don't stop in the middle until the examiner stops you. So what are the basic hacks for the cue card? This is something that I considered and I made it up. So this really helped me achieve the band that I got, and I'll share it with you today. So number 1, talk about the background. Create a story from a scratch. Say when a cue card is presented in front of you, just read the cue card and then start making a story. You can say, I was working at the office when my phone rang. It was just a regular day. I was having a breakfast with my family and I saw my phone ringing. I was watching an interesting football match when I came to know about this news. I was enjoying a hearty meal or a hearty breakfast with my family or a sit down meal with my family when my phone rang. Or simply you can say that I was sleeping when a phone call wake me up. So, in part 1, you need to create some sort of story from a scratch and then start to build on your story thereafter. So point number 2, you can talk about the name, place, time, person, the weather, and all the minor details that you can add. So you can say that I still remember, or you can say as far as I can remember, it was 15th of August, somewhere around 9 a.m. It was a pleasant day with cool breeze around. It was a bearable weather, not like the sweltering and the scorching weather that we usually have to bear. And you can further say that I got this call and I was over the moon hearing about this news. I was with my family at that time, or I was at the office. Then you can further add and say that I had to plan accordingly and I wrote an application to the office and had to call in sick, or I wrote them that I was under the weather that day and I had to take the day off. Luckily, I was given the day off and I was over the moon. I planned this trip with my friends to embark on this once in a lifetime journey. We managed to reach the concert or the place or wherever you wanted to go at the nick of time and had to wait at the long queue of the people. Point number 3, now start to build up a story along with answering the sub questions as well. Now you come to the cue card and start speaking about the topic. Since you talk about the background, then you talk about the time, place, person, the weather, and how everything started further. Now you come to the main question and answer the question, and then time to time answer sub questions as well. Point number 4, Now here you talk about a certain example. For instance, if you're comparing a place that you went to, like a northern area or any beautiful place you went to, you can say that I can also relate this place because I've been to Norway, I've been to Germany, I've been to Kashmir, I've been to XYZ places, and it's similar sort of place. It's so beautiful to be there. The landscapes are so captivating and mesmerizing to be at. There are snow-capped mountains, there are lush green valleys, there are magnificent rivers, and there are wonderful flowers, all of different colors and different shades. After this point 4, then you can move towards point 5. Point number 5. Now you talk about a past story as well. Since you are talking about the background, then you talk about the time, place, person, and the weather. How did everything happen, each and every detail. Then point number 3 was you talk about the actual topic. Then you give a relatable example in point number 4. Now we talk about point number 5, where you share a past history. You can say that I can relate to a similar sort of thing that happened with my cousin. We were out there visiting a similar place and he got much sick. So we had to return back with a heavy heart. You can also say that I can relate to a similar sort of present that my mother gave to me, like the one I've received today on this birthday. I was over the moon once I got that laptop back then, but now, since I have the newer one and it's just one of a kind, I can't get enough of it. Point number 6, that's the last one. You can talk about the future or any prediction or speculation. You can say, I hope my family or friends keep on surprising me like this because I don't like to celebrate my own birthday because it's not my cup of tea. Or you can say, I hope we do plan a similar sort of trip in the near future because I just can't get enough of it. And traveling to such places is hands down or without a doubt the best activity to have. You can also say, I hope more vocational institutes like these are made to help poor individuals to start over a new leaf in their life and stand and allow them to stand on their own feet. So this is how we'll be talking about the cue cards. First of all, whenever a question is being presented in front of you, you start by building a background. Then you talk about the time, place, person, the weather, all the minute details that you can add. Then you can start off by answering the actual question and the sub questions. Then you can talk about an example that have occurred, and then you can talk about a past history about that thing that you know that this thing had occurred in the past as well. Then you can talk about the future prediction or speculation. All of these things can help you to talk more than 2 minutes and you won't fail in this cue card section. Thank you. This is Dr. Fnan and I'll be sharing more of these videos, probably the how to solve part 3 as well, hopefully quite soon.